Hello, and welcome back to Speak English Daily.
Hi, everyone. We are very happy to see you here today.
Today, we're going to explore how to really ask someone if they're okay.
I like this topic because it sounds simple at first. Most English learners already know the question, "How are you?"
That's true. In fact, it's probably one of the first English phrases people learn.
And we hear it everywhere, at work, at school, in stores, and even when talking to neighbors.
Let me ask you something, Mike. How many times do you think you've said, "How are you?" today?
Probably 6 or 7 times already.
And how many real answers did you get?
Maybe none. Most people just said, "I'm good," or "I'm fine, thanks."
That's what usually happens. The phrase becomes automatic.
It almost works like a greeting instead of a real question.
Right. Most of the time, people are not expecting a long conversation.
They just want to be polite and friendly.
But sometimes there is more behind the answer.
Sometimes someone says, "I'm fine," even when they're having a very difficult day.
And that's what we're focusing on today. How can we ask with genuine care? How can we show someone that we're really listening?
We'll also teach you useful English phrases that native speakers use when they want to check on someone.
So if you've ever wondered how to sound more caring and natural in English conversations, this episode is for you.
Let's dive into it together.
Mike, why do you think people often hide how they really feel?
That's a great question. I think many people don't want to be a burden.
That's a very common reason.
When someone is struggling, they sometimes think, "Everyone else has their own problems. I don't want to add mine."
Yes, they worry about bothering other people,
And because of that, they keep everything inside.
which can be very difficult.
It can. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack all day and never putting it down.
That's a good comparison. Emotional struggles can feel very heavy.
Another reason is that people want to appear strong.
I see that a lot.
People often believe they should handle everything by themselves.
So instead of saying they're having a hard time, they smile and pretend everything is normal.
That's right. Sometimes the biggest smile hides the deepest struggle.
That's a powerful thought.
And it's very common. Have you ever met someone who always seemed cheerful, but later you discovered they were going through a difficult period?
Many times, it reminds us that we never know the full story behind someone's smile.
That's why empathy is so important.
Let's teach that word to our listeners. Empathy means understanding another person's feelings and experiences.
It means trying to see the world from their perspective.
Another useful word is bothered.
If someone says, "I've been bothered lately," they mean something has been worrying or upsetting them.
That's a very natural word in everyday English.
Another common word is stressed.
Most people know this one.
If you're stressed, you feel pressure from work, school, family responsibilities, or other situations.
And when stress continues for a long time, it can become exhausting.
That's another useful vocabulary word. Exhausted means extremely tired.
Not just physically tired, but mentally tired too.
Exactly. You might sleep all night and still feel exhausted because your mind is carrying too much pressure.
Another important word is overwhelmed.
I hear that word all the time.
Me too. If you're overwhelmed, you feel like you have too many responsibilities or emotions at once.
It's that feeling when everything seems to arrive at the same time.
Work deadlines, family concerns, financial problems, and daily responsibilities.
Suddenly, it feels like you can't keep up.
And when people feel overwhelmed, they often become quieter,
Or they try even harder to hide what they're feeling.
which makes honest conversations even more important.
That's why learning these communication skills matters so much.
Sometimes people don't need perfect advice.
They simply need someone who notices them.
Someone who cares enough to ask a sincere question.
And that's where our English phrases come in.
Let's start with the most direct one. Are you okay?
Simple, clear, and very caring.
The way you say it matters too.
Definitely. If you ask quickly while looking at your phone, it feels different.
But if you stop, look at the person, and ask gently, "Are you okay?" It feels much more meaningful.
It shows genuine concern.
Another useful phrase is, you seem a little quiet today.
I really like that one.
Why?
Because you're not making assumptions, you're simply sharing an observation.
That's true. You're saying what you've noticed.
And it gives the other person space to respond honestly.
For example, you could say, you seem a little quiet today. Is everything okay?
Very natural English.
Here's another excellent phrase. Is everything all right?
That's a phrase native speakers use often.
It's gentle and respectful.
And it sounds less formal than some learners expect.
You might ask a friend, a family member, or even a coworker that question.
Especially if their behavior seems different from usual.
Another helpful phrase is, I've noticed you seem stressed lately. Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
That's a very caring approach.
And finally, one of the most powerful questions, do you want to talk about it?
That's such an important phrase.
Why do you think it's so effective?
Because you're offering support without pressure.
That's a great point.
You're not demanding answers, you're giving them a choice.
Some people may want to talk immediately,
Others may need more time.
but they know you're available.
And sometimes just knowing someone is willing to listen can make a huge difference.
That's what meaningful communication is really about. It's not about having perfect words. It's about showing people that they matter.
And sometimes showing people they matter starts with something very simple, listening.
I agree. Listening sounds easy, but many of us are not as good as it as we think. That's because we often jump into problem-solving mode.
I know I do. If a friend tells me they're struggling, my brain immediately starts searching for solutions.
Mine does the same thing. We want to help, so we begin giving advice.
The funny thing is that advice is not always what the person needs.
Very true. Sometimes people already know what they should do.
What they're looking for is understanding.
They want someone to hear them without judgment.
That's why validation is such an important communication skill.
Let's explain that word. Validation means showing someone that their feelings make sense.
It doesn't mean you agree with everything.
It simply means you recognize that their emotions are real.
One of the best phrases for that is, "That sounds really hard."
I love that expression because it's simple and sincere.
Imagine your friend says they're taking care of their family while working long hours.
Instead of immediately offering 10 solutions, you could say, that sounds really hard.
The person feels understood.
Another helpful phrase is, I'm sorry you're going through that.
Notice that you're not trying to fix anything.
You're just acknowledging their experience.
That small response can make someone feel less alone.
Here's another useful expression. I understand why you feel that way.
That's a powerful one.
It tells the person their reaction is reasonable.
Many people worry that they're overreacting.
So hearing those words can be very comforting.
Good listeners ask questions too.
Such as?
How long have you been feeling this way? Or what has been the most difficult part?
Those questions encourage the conversation to continue naturally.
And they show genuine interest.
Sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is your full attention.
No interruptions, no quick solutions, just attention and care.
Speaking of care, let's talk about practical ways to check on someone when you're not with them.
That's something everyone can do.
The easiest place to start is with a text message.
Texting removes a lot of pressure.
You don't need to plan a long conversation.
And the other person can respond when they're ready.
One of my favorite messages is, I was thinking about you.
That's a wonderful sentence.
Why do you like it so much?
Because it feels unexpected. Someone chose to reach out simply because you crossed their mind.
It creates a feeling of connection.
And it's easy for English learners to use.
Another great message is, hope you're having a good week.
That's friendly and natural.
It doesn't feel intrusive.
It opens the door without forcing the person to walk through it.
Sometimes people are busy. Sometimes they're struggling. Sometimes they're both.
Which is why another useful phrase is, no need to reply.
I use that one often.
Me too. It removes pressure immediately.
The person knows you're thinking about them, but they don't feel obligated to answer right away.
Small details like that can make communication feel much warmer.
Have you ever received a message at the perfect moment?
Many times. usually when I least expected it.
Those messages stay with us.
They do. They remind us that relationships matter.
But there are moments when a text message isn't enough.
That's when a phone call can be powerful.
Hearing someone's voice creates a different experience.
You can hear emotion, energy, and sincerity.
A voice communicates things that words on a screen sometimes cannot.
One phrase I really like is, "I wanted to hear your voice."
That's such a warm expression.
It tells someone they matter to you.
And it doesn't require a long conversation.
Not at all. Even a short call can brighten someone's day.
Sometimes people think they need an hour to make a phone call worthwhile.
But 5 minutes can be meaningful.
You can call and simply ask how they're doing.
Or share something positive from your day.
The goal isn't always to solve a problem.
Sometimes the goal is simply to remind someone that they're connected to others.
That's a beautiful way to think about it.
Whether it's a text or a call, reaching out shows kindness.
And kindness is something we can all practice.
Speaking of practice, we'd like to take a quick moment to thank everyone listening today.
We truly appreciate every one of you.
If you're enjoying this episode, please take a moment to like the video.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to Speak English Daily so you never miss a new conversation.
We create these episodes to help you build confidence with real English.
We'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Here's today's question. What is the kindest message someone has ever sent you?
Share your answer below. We always enjoy reading your stories.
And if you'd like more speaking practice, try using our English learning tools and conversation resources.
They give you a chance to practice useful phrases from episodes like this one in a relaxed environment.
The more you practice, the more natural your English becomes.
Thanks again for being part of the Speak English Daily community.
Now, let's continue our conversation and look at another important way we can recognize when someone might need support.
Because words are important, but they aren't the only thing people communicate.
That's an interesting thought, Mike. We spend a lot of time choosing the right words, but communication is much bigger than that.
It really is. Sometimes people tell us how they're feeling without realizing they're doing it.
And that's where observation becomes important.
Not observation in a negative way. I mean, paying attention to the people we care about.
Right, being present enough to notice when something seems different.
One thing I often notice is eye contact.
That's a good example.
If someone is usually engaged in conversations but suddenly avoids looking at people, it can tell you something.
It might mean they're distracted.
Or worried about something.
Or maybe they're carrying a problem they haven't talked about yet.
Of course, one moment doesn't tell us the whole story.
That's important to remember.
We should look for patterns rather than single situations.
Another pattern can be unusual silence.
Yes, some people naturally enjoy talking and sharing stories.
Then one day they become much quieter than normal.
They answer questions with only a few words.
They don't contribute much to conversations, and sometimes they seem far away even when they're sitting right next to you.
That's a great description. Have you ever been talking to someone and felt like their mind was somewhere else?
Definitely. They're physically present, but mentally occupied by something else.
That's often a sign that something deserves attention.
Another thing people sometimes do is cancel plans repeatedly.
I think many listeners can relate to that.
Maybe a friend usually enjoys social activities.
Then suddenly every invitation gets declined.
One canceled dinner isn't unusual.
Not at all.
Everyone gets busy sometimes.
But when it becomes a pattern, it may mean something deeper is happening.
Especially when the person stops participating in activities they normally enjoy.
That's why comparing current behavior to normal behavior is helpful.
We're not comparing them to other people.
We're comparing them to themselves.
Exactly.
One phrase that works very well in these situations is, "I noticed you haven't been yourself lately."
That's a wonderful expression. It sounds caring rather than confrontational.
You're not accusing anyone of anything.
You're simply sharing what you've observed.
For example, you could say, "I noticed you haven't been yourself lately. How have things been going?"
That's a gentle way to start a meaningful conversation.
It gives the person room to respond honestly.
And if they don't want to talk yet, they still know someone cares enough to notice.
which can be very powerful.
It certainly can. You know, this reminds me of something you told me a while ago.
Oh, really?
About a period when you were pushing yourself too hard.
Ah, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Would you mind sharing that story with our listeners?
Not at all. A few years ago, I was juggling several projects at the same time.
That sounds demanding.
It was. At first, I felt motivated because I enjoyed the work.
But eventually, things changed.
They did. My days became longer and longer. I started skipping breaks and working on weekends.
That's a dangerous habit.
Looking back, it definitely was. At the time, I convinced myself that I just needed to keep going.
Did people know how much pressure you were under?
Not really. I rarely talked about it.
So everyone assumed things were fine.
Pretty much. I was productive, I showed up every day, and I kept smiling.
Meanwhile, you were running out of energy.
Exactly. I felt drained all the time. Even simple tasks felt heavier than they should have.
That sounds difficult.
Then one evening, I received a message from a friend I hadn't spoken to in a while.
What did he say?
He wrote, "Just checking in. You've been working hard for a long time. Don't forget to take care of yourself."
Such a simple message.
Very simple, but it felt surprisingly meaningful.
Why do you think it affected you so much?
Because it made me realize that somebody saw what I was going through.
Someone noticed.
Exactly. He wasn't offering solutions, he wasn't giving a lecture,
He was simply showing concern.
and that small gesture encouraged me to slow down and make some healthier choices.
It's amazing how a few thoughtful words can have such a lasting impact.
That's why I never underestimate the value of reaching out.
Sometimes people assume their message won't matter.
But often it's the opposite.
Now, let's look at the situation from another angle.
What if you're the person who needs support?
That's a question many people struggle with.
Because asking for help can feel uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable for some people.
We often tell ourselves that we should handle everything alone,
Or we worry about interrupting someone else's day.
which brings us back to that idea of not wanting to be a burden.
But friendships aren't supposed to work that way.
Exactly. Healthy relationships involve giving and receiving support.
So let's teach a few useful English phrases.
One natural phrase is, "I'm having a rough day."
That's something native speakers say all the time. A rough day is simply a difficult day.
Maybe nothing terrible happened.
But things aren't going smoothly.
Work is frustrating. Your energy is low. Small problems keep appearing.
That's a rough day. Another helpful phrase is, "Do you have time to talk later?"
I like this one because it's respectful.
You're expressing a need without creating pressure.
You're asking for a conversation, not demanding one,
It also gives the other person time to prepare.
which can lead to a better discussion.
Another phrase worth learning is, "I've been feeling overwhelmed lately."
That's very natural English.
Earlier, we defined overwhelmed as feeling that too many things are happening at once.
Responsibilities, emotions, deadlines, worries.
Everything starts piling up.
And eventually it feels difficult to manage.
That's why the phrase is useful. It communicates a lot in a few words.
It tells people you're struggling without needing a long explanation.
I think many listeners believe they need the perfect words before asking for help.
But real conversations rarely work that way.
You don't need a prepared speech.
You don't need every detail organized.
You can simply tell a trusted friend how you're feeling.
Most people appreciate honesty far more than perfection.
And opening up is often the first step towards feeling better.
Because support becomes possible once people understand what you're carrying.
And once people feel comfortable sharing what they're carrying, relationships often become stronger.
I agree. Some of the strongest friendships are built during difficult times.
That's because challenges give us opportunities to support one another.
And support creates connection.
You know, it's interesting how connected the world seems today.
We have more communication tools than ever before.
We can send messages instantly.
We can join video calls from different countries.
We can follow hundreds of people online.
Yet many people still say they feel lonely.
Why do you think that happens?
I think there's a difference between contact and connection.
That's a great way to put it.
Contact is seeing updates and exchanging quick messages.
Connection is feeling understood.
Connection takes time and attention.
It often requires real conversations.
And real conversations require effort from both people.
Sometimes we assume that friendship will maintain itself automatically.
But meaningful relationships need care.
Just like a plant needs water.
That's a simple but accurate comparison.
A friendship grows when people consistently show up for each other.
Through small actions as well as big ones.
A small message.
A phone call.
A coffee together.
A walk after a long day.
These things may seem ordinary,
But they're often the moments people remember most.
especially when they're going through a difficult period.
That's why reaching out matters so much.
Not because we're trying to solve everyone's problems.
But because we're reminding people that they don't have to face those problems alone.
And that's where today's challenge comes in.
We wanted to leave our listeners with something practical.
So, here's what we'd like you to do.
Think of one person.
Just one person who has crossed your mind recently.
Maybe it's someone you haven't spoken to for a while.
Maybe it's someone who seems busier than usual.
Maybe it's someone you care about but haven't checked on recently.
Today, send them a message.
Don't overthink it.
Don't spend 20 minutes trying to write the perfect text.
Keep it simple.
Let them know they're on your mind.
Ask how they're doing.
Or simply say hello.
The important thing is taking action.
Because kindness is most powerful when we express it.
And connection grows when people make the first move.
You never know how much your message could brighten someone's day.
Sometimes a small act of care arrives at exactly the right moment.
And even if nothing dramatic happens, you've strengthened a relationship.
Which is always a worthwhile thing to do.
As we wrap up today's episode, we want to thank all of you for spending time with us.
We truly appreciate every listener in the Speak English Daily community.
We hope today's conversation taught you useful English phrases that you can use in real life.
More importantly, we hope it encouraged you to communicate with confidence and compassion.
Remember, language learning isn't only about memorizing words.
It's about connecting with people and understanding each other better.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to Speak English Daily and join us for future conversations.
And don't forget to leave a comment and tell us what you thought about today's topic.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep having conversations in English.
Thank you for listening, take care, and we'll see you in the next episode of Speak English Daily. Goodbye, everyone.